Hi everyone, my name is Dena and I'm a graphic designer, digital artist, and content creator here on YouTube, and I make videos about design, art, and my life as a creative. In this video, I'll be showing you guys my creative process and how I'll go about rebranding the energy drink Celsius. For my creative assets, I'll be sourcing them all through Envato Elements, which has like an unlimited amount of design assets, fonts, mockups, and so much more. So for this rebrand, I decided to do Celsius because I am a very loyal consumer of this product. I probably drink one of these every single morning. It really helps me get through the day. It tastes good, and I really like what they're about. You can pretty much get these at any grocery store, but I get mine all from Costco because they sell them in bulks of 15, so I make trips there pretty frequently to get my Celsius. This particular pack of 15 only comes in 3 flavors, but it's still less expensive than buying it individually at the grocery store. It's always nice to have the product so that I can visually reference it while I'm redesigning the product. I haven't had my daily dose of Celsius today yet, so here's a little ASMR for y'all to enjoy. Ooh. Good soup. So to get started, I like to dissect and get to know more about what the brand is about, who they are, what they do, and also study their current logo. Taking a glimpse at their website, I really love the clean and minimalistic look that they have going on. I especially love the typography that they have between the filled-in type and outline type. It really adds contrast and hierarchy, which makes the browsing experience more enjoyable. According to their site, Celsius is a movement all about the movement and living a fit and active lifestyle. They also claim that their energy drinks have healthier benefits, such as containing no preservatives, no high fructose corn syrup, non-GMO, no artificial flavors, sugar-free, and no added sodium, just to name a few. So now I've got a sense of what their brand voice is and what some of their tone words are, such as energetic, dynamic, active, bold, healthy, and empowering, just to name a few. To understand why they named their brand Celsius, it's important to break down what the definition of it is. According to Wikipedia, Celsius is a unit of temperature on the Celsius scale. The degrees Celsius can refer to a specific temperature on the Celsius scale or a unit to indicate a difference or range between two temperatures. With that context, it makes sense on why they decided to name themselves Celsius, as it ties back to their unique differentiator with their MetaPlus blend, which is a process that boosts your metabolic rate and generates body heat, which when combined with exercise will help you lose more body fat and burn more calories. Now let's dive a little bit deeper on the history of this brand. So Celsius was first founded in 2004, so they've been around for about 17 years now. I was digging a little deeper on what their old logo used to look like, and I came across these two. As you can see, back then, their marketing was more focused on the fat burning and weight loss aspect of the drink, whereas now they've shifted to a more fitness and active lifestyle approach, which is another reason why this brand is prevailing now. I also came across some Swedish versions of Celsius, which is interesting to see because the design is slightly different than the ones they sell here in the US. Now that we've got that context, I want to start putting together inspiration boards to help me start brainstorming and sketching out logo ideas. First, I've compiled some of their competitors just to see how they're designing their energy drinks. For the logo inspiration boards, I had 2 sort of directions in mind. The first direction I was considering was creating a custom hand-lettered logo that really showed the movement and flow aspect. The second direction I'm considering is downloading a font from Envato Elements and further customizing that typeface so that it's more unique to the brand. I'm gonna experiment with both and see where we go from there. So with those inspiration boards, I started brainstorming and sketching a handful of logo ideas that I had in mind. I know it's a little bit messy in my sketchbook, but the whole point in this stage is to get all my ideas out as quickly as possible and not really worrying about making it look too perfect yet. Once I feel like I've gotten most of my ideas and sketches out, I'll go back and choose some of my top favorites to further refine. Now I'll be exploring some font options from Envato Elements. I sorted through their collection by kind of filtering down what type of style I was looking for, since there's thousands of fonts to choose from. It can be a little bit overwhelming not knowing which ones to go for. I filtered down the category to further refine the search, since I know I kind of want either a sans serif or handwritten / scripty typeface to go for. So these were some fonts that I ended up downloading from Envato Elements, and now I'll be going into Adobe Illustrator to start exploring these font options. After some font exploration, I really gravitated towards this particular one called Zoom because of its bold and italicized look. I didn't particularly like the period on this font since it was squared off, so I made a few tweaks by replacing it with an oval shape right by the letter C to kind of represent the degrees symbol. This sort of led me to want to try out a slightly different version, so I went back to sketching. So I had this idea of adding a thermometer silhouette inside of the U shape of this typeface. And then I decided to slightly overlap the degree symbol over the C instead of just having it placed right next to it. I also played around with the angles and tapered off ends of the font, which I kind of liked at first, but then I reverted back to not liking it so much. So once I felt pretty satisfied with the logo sketch, I went back over it with some ink. Now I'm taking it back to Illustrator so that I can digitize this final logo design and make some final few tweaks until I'm overall happy with the results. I also tried out a version where half of the text was a different color to kind of create this liquid form, which I thought was pretty interesting, and it would have been my second choice, but I ended up going with the one that I initially sketched out. It's kind of cool to see the organic process unfold of experimenting and seeing where the end results take you. This is what the final logo ended up looking like on both a light and dark background, with and also without color. So I've compiled some inspiration boards for the packaging designs just so that I can start brainstorming some ideas. I also wanted to explore some pattern options I could potentially incorporate in the packaging. So I went on Envato Elements and put together another board for that. I was mainly looking for patterns that were a bit more abstract and were associated with liquid, flow, and movement of sorts. I did also download some fruit patterns for the drink flavors, but I didn't end up going with that direction, but rather I went ahead and downloaded some graphic assets of real looking fruits and then getting some can mock-ups to make things look a bit more realistic. Next, I did some rough sketches to see how I wanted the layout and typography to look on the can. After a handful of sketches, I then took some of the ideas digitally. So this first idea I ended up not liking much, but I still wanted to show you guys my creative process nonetheless. This first one has a pretty basic layout with most of the elements being center aligned down the middle. I also did incorporate this simple pattern with these organic lines from Envato Elements just to add some depth and texture so that things don't look too plain. After exploring this first design, I thought it looked too boring and wanted to try another design that was a little bit more unconventional, so I wanted to do one where everything was angled diagonally. I found another pattern on Envato Elements that I wanted to try with this one called Melting Lines, and I think it definitely adds a little bit more character and texture. Then I focused on designing out the other two sides of the can. One side has the nutrition facts and the other side has a little bit more info about the brand and some extra benefits. A lot of it was playing around with the placement and typography, but I wanted to make sure everything was legible and kind of flowed together. I figured since I have these 3 diagonal stripes wrapping around the can, I could show all of the sides connecting in this 3 can mock-up. So after I finished with this orange flavor mock-up, I wanted to design out 2 other flavors to kind of show how it would look as a cohesive set. So the other 2 flavors I designed out was the wild berry one and kiwi guava. It was a matter of changing the color of the cans, downloading the updated fruit graphics, and changing the typography a little bit. So the kiwi guava flavor was a little bit trickier to kind of balance between the 2 different colors of both the green and pink. So I did have a little bit trouble on this part, but I think it worked out in the end. As for the main color palette of the brand, I did explore some palette options through colors.co. After exploring some of the palette options, I decided to keep the current colors for the main part and ended up introducing a light blue / pastel-y color as it reminds me of liquid and flow. Lastly, I decided to introduce some apparel, so I downloaded these 2 different mockups from Envato Elements and combined them together into one file and designed them out in Photoshop. And lastly, I wanted to incorporate a lifestyle image. So I downloaded this lifestyle image from Envato Elements and then digitally manipulated it so that I could incorporate both the apparel and can mockup in one image. So that was quite a bit of designing and showing you guys my process, and I'm sure you want to see the final end results. So here they are. So that about wraps up this rebrand video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed my creative process and kind of seeing how I did this rebrand design. If you're interested in any of the creative assets that I used in this video and want to use them yourself, check the video description as they're all linked there. Thank you to Envato Elements for making this project possible, and if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave it in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.